Before we begin, take a deep breath in and let it out. Let your shoulders drop. Let the world outside fade for a moment. Because tonight, we're not staying here. Not in the glow of screens or the hum of cars. Tonight, we're going somewhere older, much older. Somewhere where time itself moves slower. Where the night smells like wood smoke and rain, and where the only light comes from candles and the moon. Tonight, you're traveling to medieval England. It begins with a sound, a soft ticking, not of a clock, but of something older, a rhythm beneath everything, like the heartbeat of time itself. You open your eyes. The air feels different, colder, thicker. The light is dim, golden, like dawn caught in a jar. You're standing in a field. Mist curls above the grass. Somewhere far away, a bell is ringing, slow and heavy, calling villagers to wake. The year is 1325, the Middle Ages. You begin to walk. Your shoes sink slightly into damp soil. The path winds between small, thatched cottages, walls made of timber and mud, roofs heavy with moss. Smoke rises lazily from crooked chimneys. The air smells of firewood, wet hay, and bread baking. A rooster crows. Dogs bark in the distance. And for a moment, the world feels utterly still. No engines, no electricity, just the quiet rhythm of life as it once was, simple, slow, and impossibly real. A woman opens her cottage door. Her dress is made of coarse brown wool. Her hands are rough, strong from years of work. She glances at you briefly, curious but not alarmed. Travelers are rare, but not impossible. You nod politely, and she returns to kneading dough, the sound of her work mixing with the crackle of her hearth. Inside, the air glows orange with firelight. A pot of porridge simmers. Children stir under wool blankets, and outside, the mist begins to lift. You walk toward the village center. A church bell tolls again, slower this time, echoing across the valley. Its sound rolls like fog, touching every cottage and stable. The village green is quiet. A few chickens, a cow chewing cud, and a man sharpening a scythe beside a wooden fence. The rhythm of his work, scrape, pause, scrape, matches the calm beat of your heart. Time feels thicker here. The sun moves slower. Even your breath seems to stretch longer. You realize this is how life once felt, before clocks ruled the hours, before the rush of the modern world. As you continue walking, the landscape widens. Stone walls divide the fields, each filled with sheep grazing lazily, their wool glowing faintly in the pale morning light. A cart creaks past you, wooden wheels on mud. The driver nods, wrapped in a cloak of faded green. He smells faintly of hay and rain. There's no hurry in his movements. He will get where he's going when he gets there. You smile. For the first time in a long while, you feel no rush either. You reach the edge of the village where the world opens into forest. Tall oaks and birches, leaves dripping with dew. The air grows cooler. Somewhere nearby, a stream murmurs over stones. You follow it, hearing the soft hum of water and wind, the occasional bird calling from high in the branches. It feels timeless. If you didn't know better, you might think the world had always been this way, green, slow, and peaceful. You stop beside the stream. Your reflection shimmers, and for a moment, you see both your world and theirs. A traveler from the future, standing in a land where time still breathes. You kneel, cupping your hands into the cold, clear water. It tastes of earth and stone, pure and untouched. As you drink, the last hum of modern noise fades away completely. No phones, no cars, no deadlines. Only the sound of flowing water and the distant toll of the church bell marking another quiet hour. The sun rises higher, gilding the mist in gold. A farmer waves from across the field. A child chases a chicken, laughing softly. A woman hangs wet clothes on a line of twine. The smell of bread drifts through the air again. This is the heartbeat of the past. Simple, steady, endlessly patient. And as you watch, you begin to feel sleepy again. The kind of sleep that feels deep and earned. You lie back on the soft grass. The sound of the stream becomes a lullaby. The distant bell becomes a heartbeat. A day in the village. You wake to the sound of a rooster. It's not loud, just persistent. A rhythmic call to morning that echoes across the fields. The air in the cottage is cool. Sunlight seeps through cracks in the shutters. Thin golden beams slicing through the faint mist that still lingers indoors. For a moment, you don't move. You listen. Somewhere nearby, a baby murmurs. A dog shakes itself awake, and a fire crackles faintly in the hearth. You remember where you are. A small village in medieval England, sometime around the early 1300s. A simpler time, a slower time.
You sit up on the straw bed. It creaks softly beneath you. The blanket, rough wool but warm, slides off your shoulders. The air smells faintly of wood smoke, earth, and bread.
The smell of baking bread drifts from the communal oven.
The path is uneven,
lined with tufts of grass and worn stones that tell of countless footsteps before yours. Morning light spills across the fields, soft and golden, brushing the earth with a quiet warmth. You begin walking, your pace unhurried. The air smells of damp soil, herbs, and the faint smoke of distant cottages. Every now and then a breeze carries the distant laughter of children or the lowing of cattle grazing in the pastures. Time feels slow here, as if the world itself stretches its limbs before the day fully awakens. Along the road you see other travelers. A woman trudges with a small basket of bread balanced on her hip. A monk in brown robes walks silently, a staff in hand, lost in his thoughts. A cart pulled by oxen creaks steadily, the driver humming a low tune. They glance at you briefly, nod politely, and continue on their way. You realize you are not intruding. You are simply another step in the rhythm of this land. The road winds through small woods. Sunlight filters through the leaves, casting dappled patterns on the ground. You step carefully, listening to the crunch of twigs beneath your feet. Birds call from above, and somewhere nearby, a stream trickles over smooth stones. After a while, the path opens into a clearing. Here, a small market has been set up along the roadside. Stalls made of rough timber and canvas display baskets of apples, cheeses, wool, and fresh herbs. The merchants are calm, their voices soft as they greet travelers passing by. A storyteller sits beneath a tree, spinning a tale to a small circle of children. His voice is gentle, the story simple, a tale of a brave farmer who outwits a greedy tax collector. The children laugh quietly, their heads resting against their mother's skirts, listening intently. You pause for a moment, watching. The simplicity of this scene, the slow cadence of life, the steady rhythm of work and play, feels like a balm to your mind. Here there is no rush, no urgency. Time moves at its own pace, patient and measured. You continue walking. A pilgrim appears on the road ahead, his cloak faded and dusty. He carries a small bundle on his back, and a walking stick taps softly against the stones. He nods in greeting. "You travel far," he says, his voice quiet but kind. "Yes," you reply softly. He smiles faintly. "The road itself teaches patience," he says. "Every step, every mile, every bend in the path, it has its purpose. And sometimes the journey is more important than the destination." You walk alongside him for a time, listening to the soft rhythm of his steps. Every now and then he points out a distant hill, a flowering tree, or a deer peeking from the undergrowth. His observations are simple, yet they make you notice things you might otherwise overlook: the sparkle of dew, the curve of a branch, the gentle sway of grass in the wind. The sun climbs higher, shadows shorten, and the day grows warmer. You feel the earth beneath your feet, solid and real, and the road ahead, stretching endlessly, invites you to keep walking. You pause at a small stream, kneeling to drink. The water is cold and clear, rushing over smooth stones,
a quiet song of movement in the stillness of the morning. All around, life continues in its slow, deliberate way. The merchants move quietly, rearranging their goods. The children chase each other in bursts of laughter. The pilgrims continue on their paths, walking in thoughtful silence. You breathe in deeply. This is a world untouched by haste, untouched by modern worry. Every sound, every movement, every sight feels deliberate, as if the earth itself is guiding you to move slowly, to notice, to rest. As the sun rises higher, you continue your journey along the pilgrim's road. The path stretches ahead, bordered by trees, fields, and distant hills. You feel yourself blending with the rhythm of the travelers, their calm steps matching the slow beat of your own heart. And as the afternoon approaches, you begin to feel the gentle pull of sleep once more. The road, the trees, the soft murmur of the stream, all whisper the same message. Here, time waits. Here, the world moves at its own pace. And here, you can rest. The fields glow softly in the twilight, the tall grass swaying in the gentle evening breeze. Somewhere nearby, a cow lowing blends with the faint rustle of leaves, and a dog barks once, then settles into a slow, contented sigh. As you approach the village, the cottages begin to glow with firelight. Chimneys send thin trails of smoke into the dusk, and the warm scent of baked bread and stew drifts lazily through the air. Children run briefly along the narrow paths, their laughter soft and fleeting, then disappear behind wooden doors as their mothers call them in. Women hang the last of the laundry, men carry tools back to the sheds, and the rhythm of the day winds down, unhurried and gentle. You pause by the well at the village green. The water reflects the last light of the sky, its surface smooth and silver. A woman draws a bucket, smiling faintly as she greets a neighbor. The movement is simple, ordinary, yet it feels sacred in the calm of the approaching night. The church bell tolls once, low and resonant, marking the end of the day. It echoes across the fields and through the narrow streets, a reminder that the world moves slowly, deliberately, even when you are not watching. You wander past the market square, now empty, stalls closed and neat, goods stored carefully for another day. The air smells faintly of herbs, leather, and wood smoke. A few lanterns hang from posts, glowing softly, their flames flickering as the shadows lengthen. You walk to the edge of the village, where the path leads to a small grove of trees. The forest is darkening, but not threatening. It is quiet, gentle, protective. A soft breeze rustles the leaves, and somewhere an owl begins to call, low and steady. You stop, taking a deep breath.
The village behind you is settling into sleep, and the natural world around you holds its own calm rhythm. Everything is at rest, yet alive, the heartbeat of the land steady and eternal. Torches are lit along the streets. The flickering light paints warm shapes on the cottages. Inside, families gather around their fires. Children settle beside their parents, and the smell of evening meals fills the air. You make your way to a familiar cottage. The door opens silently, and you step inside. The fire burns low in the hearth, embers glowing softly like tiny stars. The room is quiet, warm, safe. You lie down on the straw bed. The wool blanket is heavy and comforting, and the fading light filters through the wooden shutters. Outside, the world is calm, every sound gentle, a dog shifting in its sleep, the faint wind through the thatch, the distant call of an owl. As your eyes grow heavy, you feel the steady rhythm of the medieval village seep into you, the slow heartbeat of life, the unhurried movement of people and nature, and the soft, eternal pull of night.
You close your eyes fully. The village sleeps. The fields, the forest, the castle, the stream, all breathe gently together. And so do you, wrapped in the quiet of the past, your mind drifting slowly, peacefully, into sleep. The world outside fades, but the rhythm of this timeless place lingers softly in your heart. The Midnight Walk. The village sleeps. The cottages are dark, their windows closed against the cool night air. Only the faint glow of a few lanterns flickers along the streets, casting soft shadows on the cobblestones. You step outside, careful not to disturb the silence. The air is crisp, filled with the scent of dew and damp earth. Every sound is magnified in the stillness, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, the soft drip of water from the thatched roofs. The path leads you toward the edge of the village, where the fields stretch into the darkness. The moon rises slowly, silver and pale, casting gentle light over the grass and hedgerows. You walk barefoot along the soft earth, feeling the coolness seep into your skin. The world is quiet, vast, and alive. Every blade of grass, every tree, every stone seems to hold a secret, a memory of centuries that have passed this way.
Along the path, a small stream glimmers in the moonlight. You kneel beside it, dipping your hands into the cold water. It ripples softly, reflecting the stars above. The gentle movement of the stream carries a strange comfort, like the slow, steady pulse of the earth itself. You continue walking into a small grove of trees. Shadows dance among the trunks, and the leaves whisper softly in the night wind. A fox moves quietly through the underbrush, pausing to glance at you before disappearing into the darkness. Somewhere farther away, a lone owl calls again. Its voice is low, steady, echoing through the forest. You follow the faint path deeper, listening to the soft sounds of the sleeping world. The moon climbs higher, bathing the landscape in pale light. You reach a small hill overlooking the village. Below, the cottages lie still, smoke from chimneys curling softly into the night. The fields shimmer faintly, silvered by moonlight and dew. You sit, letting your
Someone's already started work at the forge. You can hear the distant clang of a hammer striking metal. Slow, steady, patient. A few chickens scurry past your feet. Their feathers shimmer gold in the morning sun. A thin mist hugs the ground, turning everything soft, hazy, dreamlike. You follow a narrow dirt path toward the center of the village. It's uneven beneath your shoes, centuries of footsteps carved into the same trail. To your left, the small church, its bell tower leaning slightly, stones worn smooth by wind and rain. To your right, a cluster of cottages, each one small but alive. You can hear laughter, snippets of songs, the low murmur of people greeting each other in the morning. You stop by the well. It's old, ringed with moss and carved initials. A young woman is drawing water, her hands red from the chill.
She nods to you politely, and you nod back. Her bucket creaks as she lifts it, the sound echoing softly in the crisp morning air. For a moment, the two of you share a silence that feels ancient. The same rhythm, the same ritual, repeated by countless hands across countless mornings. You wander on. The blacksmith's forge glows faintly orange. Inside, the smith, a broad man with soot-streaked arms, hums a low tune as he works. Each strike of his hammer sends a shower of sparks into the air. The smell of hot metal and smoke fills the room. He glances up, smiles briefly, and keeps working, completely focused, completely at peace. Outside his door, a small boy watches him in awe, dreaming perhaps of the day he'll take up the hammer himself. Farther along, the baker's hut hums with warmth. Inside, loaves rise in the great clay oven, their crusts turning golden. He slides one out, the scent of yeast and ash mingling sweetly.
He sees you standing there, breaks a piece from the end, and offers it with a smile. You take it. It's warm, crusty, slightly smoky from the fire. When you bite into it, it tastes like comfort itself. The day unfolds slowly, beautifully. Farmers lead oxen into the fields. Children chase each other across the grass. The church bell marks the passing hours, not to rush anyone, but simply to remind the world that time still moves, softly, steadily, like breath. You sit on a low stone wall and watch life move around you. Every sound is gentle, every color soft. Even the sunlight feels kind here, filtered through the smoke of hearths and the dust of centuries.
As noon approaches, the village quiets. People gather for their meal. Bread, cheese, small bowls of stew. They eat together slowly, gratefully. Laughter drifts through open doors. Someone begins to hum a tune, a simple looping melody. Others join in, voices weaving gently together, echoing over the fields. You close your eyes. The warmth of the sun settles on your skin. The sounds of life become softer, blurred at the edges, like a lullaby. And once again, you feel yourself drifting between wakefulness and sleep, between past and present, between this world and the next. The night returns. The sun has begun its slow descent behind the distant hills. The day, quiet and unhurried, folds into evening. A golden haze fills the air, and every cottage window glows faintly with firelight. The smell of smoke drifts lazily over the fields. You walk through the village again. The once busy green is calmer now. Farmers lead their oxen back to the barns. Children carry buckets of water, their laughter fading into the warm dusk. The church bell rings one last time for the day, low, heavy, and comforting. You pause beside the well. The same moss glimmers faintly in the light. The woman who fetched water that morning now walks home, a shawl wrapped around her shoulders, her face tired but peaceful. The rhythm of medieval life is steady, predictable, and somehow perfect. Every sound has meaning. The creak of a wheelbarrow, the murmur of voices by the fire, the faint bleating of sheep settling in for the night.
You follow a narrow path between cottages. The air grows cooler. You can see faint trails of smoke rising from the chimneys, turning the twilight blue into watercolor shades of gray and gold. Someone nearby is singing, a slow, wordless tune drifting through an open window. It rises and falls like the breath of the earth itself. The sound feels older than memory. You reach the edge of the village, where the forest begins again. The trees sway gently, their leaves whispering in the evening wind. The stream you drank from earlier now reflects the last of the sunset, silver and soft as melted glass. You sit beside it, watching ripples move lazily across the water. The first stars begin to appear, tiny, patient lights scattered across the vast, dark sky.
Somewhere behind you, a door closes, and another day in the Middle Ages ends. The world grows quiet, the kind of silence that isn't empty, but full of small, living sounds. An owl calling in the distance, the faint rustle of hay, the rhythm of footsteps fading down a dirt path. You realize how different this night feels from your own time. No engines, no screens, just the deep breathing of the land itself. You make your way back to the cottage. Inside, the hearth glows softly, embers pulsing like the heartbeat of the home. The family you've shared this space with finishes their supper, simple bread and stew. They speak little. Their faces are calm, content, lit by the steady flame.
A child curls up beside the fire. A dog sighs in its sleep. The mother adds another log to the fire, the sparks rising like tiny stars before fading into the air. You lie down on your straw bed. It's rough, uneven, but somehow comforting. The blanket is heavy, warm, smelling faintly of smoke and wool. The flickering orange light dances across the wooden beams. Outside, the wind moves softly through the trees. You can hear the distant sound of a lute, someone playing in another cottage before bed. The tune drifts through the still night air, filling the space between the stars. You close your eyes. The warmth of the fire, the softness of the night, and the slow rhythm of the village heartbeat lull you deeper into calm.
For a moment, you forget you ever came from another time. You are simply here.
In the quiet of medieval England, in a world that still breathes gently with the earth, sleep finds you easily now. The kind of deep, dreamless sleep that only comes when the world itself feels at peace. The last thing you hear before drifting away is the crackle of the fire and the whisper of the wind through the thatch, a lullaby older than words. The castle and the market. Morning comes softly. You wake to the pale light of dawn spilling through the cracks in the wooden shutters. The air smells faintly of smoke and fresh bread. Outside, a rooster calls once, then again, marking the beginning of another quiet day. You rise slowly, the straw bed rustling beneath you. The world feels different again, lighter, fresher, washed clean by the cool night air. You stretch, pull on your wool tunic, and step out into the soft morning mist.
The village is stirring. A few early risers are already walking the paths, carrying baskets and tools. From somewhere nearby, the rhythmic thump of dough being kneaded mixes with the cluck of hens. Smoke curls gently upward from the chimneys, thin and white against the pale sky. Today, you decide to travel beyond the village, toward the castle that rises faintly in the distance, its gray towers softened by the morning haze. The road is muddy, winding between fields of barley and rye. Crows hop along the fence posts, watching as you pass. Farmers work silently, their bodies moving in practiced rhythm, hoes and rakes turning the earth beneath their hands. They glance up and nod politely, a small gesture of acknowledgement before returning to their tasks. As you walk, the sound of the village fades behind you, replaced by the quiet music of countryside life, the creak of wagon wheels, the soft lowing of cattle, the sigh of wind brushing through tall grass. The castle grows larger with every step. Its stone walls glimmer faintly with dew, and flags stir lazily from its towers. It isn't grand like the castles in stories. More practical, more lived in. A stronghold built to protect, not to impress. You cross a wooden bridge spanning a narrow moat. The water is still, reflecting the sky like polished glass. A guard at the gate glances at you, but says nothing. He looks half asleep, leaning on his spear, his breath visible in the cold air. You walk past, into the courtyard. Inside, life hums quietly. Blacksmiths hammer metal into tools and horseshoes. Stable boys carry buckets of feed to restless horses. A woman sweeps the stone steps, her broom scratching against the cold ground. Everywhere you look, there is motion, slow, steady, purposeful. You wander further in toward the great hall. It smells of wood smoke, roasted meat, and candle wax. The ceiling arches high above, lined with thick wooden beams. Tapestries hang along the walls, scenes of hunts and battles, their colors faded with time. A fire roars in the great hearth, casting flickering shadows across the long wooden table where servants prepare for the morning meal. At the far end, a man in a simple cloak sits reading from a scroll. He's not a king or a knight, but a steward, the quiet kind of power that runs every castle. He doesn't look up as you pass,
but his voice carries softly as he gives orders to the servants. You stand for a while, watching how the castle breathes, a world of order and routine, where every sound and movement has its place. Then you leave, stepping back into the sunlight. The path down from the castle winds toward the market below. It's market day, and even from a distance you can hear the soft murmur of voices. As you draw closer, the air fills with new scents: baked bread, drying herbs, leather and wool. Stalls line the muddy square, each one a small universe of color and craft. Women sell cheese wrapped in cloth. Men display pottery, iron tools, and bolts of coarse fabric. Children run between them laughing.
There is no rush, no shouting, just the gentle, timeless rhythm of trade, a rhythm as old as civilization itself. You stop by a stall selling honey. The vendor, an older man with kind eyes, offers you a taste from the tip of a wooden spoon. It's golden and thick, sweet with the warmth of flowers and sunlight. You thank him quietly. Nearby, a musician strums a lute, his melody floating above the crowd like smoke. It's not perfect, a little out of tune, a little slow, but there's something honest about it, something peaceful. You wander through the market until the sun climbs high above. The castle towers shimmer faintly in the distance. The villagers move slowly, smiling, bartering softly, their hands rough from work, their laughter gentle and real. You find a small stone wall and sit down to rest. The sounds of life swirl around you, the creak of carts, the murmur of conversation, the steady heartbeat of the Middle Ages. For a long time, you simply breathe. No clocks, no deadlines, just the quiet, living present of a world long gone, and yet, somehow, still alive inside you. As the day fades, you rise again, ready to return to the village before the sun sinks low. The road gleams faintly in the light. Behind you, the market hums softly. Ahead, the horizon begins to turn gold once more. And somewhere between the two, you realize you've never felt more peaceful, lost in time, but perfectly found in the moment. The forest at dusk. The sun lowers slowly behind the hills, melting into shades of amber and violet. You leave the village road behind, following a narrow trail that winds into the forest. The air here is cooler, denser, filled with the scent of pine, damp soil, and fallen leaves. Every sound feels larger, the soft rustle of branches, the call of distant birds, the crunch of your steps over twigs. The trees stand tall and ancient, their trunks twisted and rough with moss. Some lean together like old friends sharing quiet secrets. You pause to listen to the gentle whisper of wind passing through the canopy, a sound that feels almost like a voice from another world. In the fading light, the forest seems to breathe. You can feel its age, its patience, the slow rhythm of centuries pressing softly around you. A squirrel darts up a tree, a flash of gray against the dark bark. Somewhere farther in, an owl begins to call, low, steady, rhythmic. You walk deeper. The trail narrows, curving beside a small stream. The water glimmers faintly,
catching what little light remains. You kneel, touch the surface. It's cold and clean, as if drawn from the veins of the earth itself. There's a small clearing ahead. You step into it and find a wooden cart resting beside the path. An old traveler sits nearby, cloaked in wool, a small fire crackling at his feet. He looks up as you approach and nods slowly, as if he's been expecting you.
Evening comes fast in these woods, he says softly, his voice calm, steady, worn with kindness. He gestures to the fire, and you sit beside it. The flames dance lazily, the smoke curling upward into the branches. For a while, neither of you speak. The forest makes all the conversation that's needed. The sigh of leaves, the pop of the fire, the quiet rush of water in the stream. Finally, the traveler reaches into his satchel and pulls out a small loaf of bread. He breaks it in half and offers a piece to you. It's simple, coarse, but warm, still faintly fragrant from baking. You thank him and eat quietly. He watches the fire, eyes glinting in the light. People hurry too much, he murmurs. They chase time, but here time waits, always has. You look around at the trees, the soft moss, the trickling stream in the stream. You realize he's right. Here, time doesn't move forward or back. It simply exists, unbothered, eternal, whole. When you glance back, the traveler's eyes are closed. He's fallen asleep, his head resting against the cart. You stand slowly, careful not to disturb him, and take one last look at the glowing fire. The forest grows darker now. Fireflies begin to appear, faint pinpoints of golden light flickering between the trees. They drift lazily through the air, lighting the path like stars scattered at your feet. You follow their glow, step by step, until the trees open once more into a meadow. The last of the daylight clings to the horizon, and above it the first stars begin to appear, clear, cold, and endless.
You breathe in deeply. The world feels still. The grass beneath your hands is cool with dew. The night is alive with small sounds, the hum of insects, the soft chirp of distant crickets. Lying back, you stare at the sky. Each star seems impossibly bright, each one a silent witness to the centuries that have come and gone. You think of the castle, the market, the cottages, the quiet rhythm of lives being lived long before your own. And for the first time, it doesn't feel distant or strange. It feels close, human, familiar. Your eyelids grow heavy again. The world fades gently. The stars softening, the sounds growing dim. And as sleep begins to take you, you can almost hear that slow, ancient heartbeat of the earth again, steady and calm beneath everything. A reminder that even as time passes, some things, peace, stillness, wonder, never truly change.
The monastery fades behind you as you step onto the narrow, winding road that stretches through the rolling hills of medieval England. Letting your body sink into the cool grass. The air is quiet, save for the occasional rustle of leaves, the distant croak of a frog, and the gentle murmur of the stream behind you. You breathe slowly. The rhythm of the medieval night surrounds you, calm and endless. Time feels suspended, as if the world itself is pausing to let you rest in its quiet presence. You stand and continue along the path, walking slowly back toward the village. Every step is deliberate, gentle, unhurried. The lanterns along the streets flicker softly, welcoming you back. You pass a cottage where a dog stirs in its sleep, then a family quietly shifting under blankets.
Back at your own straw bed, you lie down, the wool blanket heavy and warm across your shoulders. The moonlight filters through the cracks in the shutters, painting soft silver patterns across the floor. The village breathes around you. The stream, the trees, the fields, the distant castle, all move in a slow, eternal rhythm. You close your eyes completely. The world of medieval England, its calm and steady heartbeat, lulls you deeper into sleep. And as the night carries on, you drift effortlessly, wrapped in the quiet, timeless embrace of the past. The dawn of the journey's end. Morning comes softly, brushing the village with pale golden light. The sky is clear, tinged with the faintest pink and lavender, and the mist that once hung over the fields has lifted, leaving everything fresh and bright. You rise slowly from the straw bed, feeling the warmth of the blanket and the cool touch of the floor beneath your hands. Outside, the village is waking. Smoke curls lazily from chimneys. Children stir beneath wool blankets. A rooster calls softly, echoing across the green.
The streets are quiet but alive. Villagers begin their morning tasks with gentle rhythm. A woman sweeps the doorway. A man carries buckets of water. A child laughs softly as they chase a hen across the square. You take a deep breath. The air smells of fresh bread, wet earth, and morning dew. It is a scent that feels timeless, grounding, and real. For a moment, you pause at the edge of the village, looking out at the rolling fields, the distant forest, the castle towers glinting in the early sun. Today your journey through time is coming to an end, but the calm and slow rhythm of medieval England stays with you. You walk along the familiar paths one last time, noticing every detail, the curve of the thatched roofs, the shimmer of the stream, the way the sunlight dances across cobblestones. A few villagers nod as you pass, and you nod back quietly. They are unaware of your journey, but somehow you feel a quiet connection to their lives, simple, patient, unhurried. The castle looms in the distance once more. You follow the path toward it, then turn gently toward the road that leads beyond the village, toward your own time, your own world. The pilgrim's road stretches ahead, fields and forests bathed in morning light. You walk slowly, savoring each step, feeling the earth beneath your feet and the gentle rhythm of life all around. The monastery bells toll softly in the distance. The stream murmurs and birds sing. Every sound is steady, soothing, timeless.
As you reach the edge of the village, you pause one last time. The cottages, the villagers, the fields, and the castle all seem to glow with quiet warmth, as if the world itself is bidding you farewell. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing deeply. The calm, the stillness, the slow heartbeat of this place settles into your own chest. When you open your eyes, you are back where you began. Your own time, your own world. But something has stayed with you. A gentle, unhurried rhythm. A sense of peace. A quiet reminder that time, like life, can move slowly, and that calm can always be found even in the busiest of days. You smile softly, feeling the echo of medieval England lingering within you. And now, with the memory of its gentle days and quiet nights, you can rest fully, sleeping deeply. Reflections on Time. The day after your journey through the medieval village begins slowly. The world feels quieter somehow, as if the rhythm of the past has lingered in your mind. You walk along a familiar path, noticing small details you may have missed before. The curve of a wooden wheel, the soft sway of a branch, the glint of sunlight on dew. Time seems different now, not measured by clocks or schedules, but by life itself, by the rise and fall of the sun, the steady beat of your own heart, and the gentle rhythm of those who came before you.
You think of the villages, the monks, the travelers on the pilgrim's road. Each one lived fully in their own moment, their days marked not by numbers, but by routine, by need, by care. There is a quiet wisdom in this, a patience you feel deep in your bones. The castle towers in the distance glimmer faintly in the morning light. You imagine the lives that have passed within its stone walls, guards, servants, lords, and children, all moving through their days with the same simple grace you witnessed in the village. A gentle breeze carries the scent of herbs and earth, reminding you of gardens tended with care, of kitchens filled with warm bread and stew, and of the quiet conversations shared in doorways and round fires. You pause by the stream once more. The water flows steadily, unchanged by the centuries that have passed. You watch it ripple, reflect the sky, and feel the slow, enduring pulse of life. It is a reminder that no matter where or when you are, life moves in a rhythm of its own. There is peace to be found in stillness, in the observation of small things, and in the acceptance of the slow unfolding of each day. You continue walking, feeling the gentle pull of memory and presence. The past and present mingle softly in your mind, and you realize that the calm of medieval England is not something you leave behind. It is something you carry with you, a quiet rhythm that will always be there, waiting to guide you back to peace and rest.
You close your eyes briefly, breathing deeply. The world is soft, steady, and alive. And in that moment, you feel perfectly in time. The evening fires. The sun dips low, and the sky deepens into hues of rose and violet. You walk back toward the village, where smoke begins to rise from chimneys, hinting at fires stoked for the evening. The streets are quiet, yet alive with gentle motion,
A woman carries a basket of herbs from the garden. A child runs briefly after a stray dog, and the distant clang of a blacksmith's hammer fades into the evening calm. Torches are lit along the pathways, their warm glow painting soft light on the cottages. The smell of cooking fills the air, bread baking, stew simmering, small comforts of domestic life that have persisted for centuries. You pause by the well, watching water ripple gently in the fading light. Nearby, a man lights a lantern for his child. The flickering flame casts dancing shadows across their faces. Even the simplest gestures carry a sense of care, a quiet rhythm that has endured through generations.
From the far end of the village, the church bell tolls softly. It is not a call to hurry, but a reminder of the slow, steady passage of time. People pause briefly in their work, exchanging quiet nods or smiles, and then continue, unhurried, into the evening. You wander through the market square. The stalls are closing now, the merchants gathering their wares. A few travelers linger, quietly exchanging small pieces of conversation, their voices gentle, blending with the hum of life settling down. The firelight from the cottages spills onto the cobblestones. You follow its glow to a familiar home, stepping inside. The hearth is warm, the embers glowing softly, and the family within sits quietly, sharing the last moments of the day. You lie down on the straw bed, the wool blanket heavy and comforting across your shoulders. Outside, the world breathes in quiet harmony. The wind moves softly through the trees. The distant stream murmurs, and the faint sound of an owl calls through the night. The village sleeps. The fires burn low. The world is calm, timeless, and full of gentle life. You close your eyes completely. The rhythm of the village, of the fields, of the castle, and of the surrounding forest seeps into your body, slowing your heartbeat, softening your mind. Here, in this moment, you rest fully. Wrapped in the quiet of medieval England, you drift deeper into peaceful sleep, held by the slow, unhurried rhythm of life itself. The starry sky. Night has fully settled over the village. The sky above is a deep, endless blue, scattered with countless stars that glimmer softly. The moon rises, pale and steady, casting a gentle silver light over cottages, fields, and the distant castle towers. You step outside once more, feeling the cool night air against your skin. The village is quiet, every sound softened by the darkness. Dogs shift in their sleep, a distant owl calls, and the leaves whisper gently in the wind. Even the stream seems calmer, reflecting the starlight like a mirror of liquid silver. Walking along the path that leads to the forest, you notice how different the world feels at night. Shadows stretch long, yet nothing seems threatening. The trees sway gently, their branches reaching toward the sky as if in silent reverence. Every sound, every movement feels deliberate, patient, and alive. You pause at the edge of the meadow. The stars above seem impossibly bright, and the vast sky feels almost within reach. The village lies behind you, cozy and still, its fires glowing faintly through the dark, a soft heartbeat in the larger rhythm of the night. The moonlight highlights the gentle curves of the hills, and you feel a deep sense of calm, as though time itself has slowed to match the pace of your breathing. Somewhere nearby, an owl calls again. A fox moves quietly across the grass. The world is alive, but quiet, a harmony of stillness and subtle motion that feels timeless.
You lie back in the soft grass, letting the earth support you. The coolness beneath you, the stars above, and the gentle sounds of the night surround you completely. You breathe slowly. The rhythm of the universe, of the earth, and of the village flows into your chest, steady and soothing. Every worry, every thought of the modern world fades. All that remains is the calm, patient heartbeat of life itself. As the night deepens, you feel yourself drifting, weightless, floating between the fields, the forest, and the stars. The universe seems vast, endless, eternal, yet intimately close, as if inviting you to rest within it. The stars glimmer, the moon shines, the world breathes, and you too breathe slowly, gently, peacefully. Sleep takes you fully now, wrapped in the quiet, timeless embrace of medieval England, its steady rhythm guiding you into deep, dreamless calm.
The dawn of a new day. The first light of morning spreads slowly across the horizon. Soft kinks and golds stretch over the fields, touching the tops of trees and the rooftops of the village. A faint mist lingers, dissolving gradually as the sun rises, bringing warmth and gentle clarity to the quiet world. You wake once more, feeling the cool straw beneath you and the soft weight of the wool blanket. The village is beginning to stir. Roosters call in the distance, dogs shift in their sleep, and the faint murmur of villagers moving about reaches your ears. Stepping outside, you breathe deeply. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of dew, fresh bread, and smoke from the hearths. Children begin to wander into the streets, rubbing their eyes, while parents prepare for the day quietly, their movements steady and unhurried. You walk toward the village green. The market stalls are beginning to be set up, but the sounds are gentle, deliberate. No rush, no hurry. Merchants arrange baskets of fruit, bread, and wool. A woman hangs herbs to dry in the soft morning light. Every action seems measured, rhythmic, and calm. From the distance, the church bell rings softly, its deep tone echoing across the village. It is not a call to hurry, but a signal of the slow unfolding of another day, a reminder of time's steady passage and the rhythm of life itself.
The castle towers above the village, bathed in pale sunlight. Its stone walls glimmer faintly, quiet and timeless. You notice the guards walking slowly along the battlements, their steps deliberate, unhurried, blending with the peaceful morning around them.
You wander along the path toward the forest. The stream glistens in the new light, its waters flowing steadily. Birds begin their songs, soft, melodic, not rushed, a gentle chorus welcoming the day. The wind moves softly through the trees, carrying the scent of earth, grass, and the faint aroma of wildflowers. You pause to watch a few deer grazing in the meadow. They lift their heads occasionally, ears twitching, then continue their slow, deliberate feeding. Everything in this world seems to move with purpose, yet without urgency. You sit on the grass for a while, feeling the rhythm of the village, the forest, and the fields merge with your own heartbeat. The calm of medieval life lingers within you, a soft echo that soothes the mind and body alike. As the sun climbs higher, the village fully awakens. Villagers go about their tasks, the blacksmith hammers rhythmically, and children chase one another with gentle laughter. You walk slowly along the familiar paths, noticing every detail: the flicker of light across a roof, the curve of a tree branch, the shimmer of dew on grass. The castle towers above the village, bathed in pale sunlight. Its stone walls glimmer faintly, quiet and timeless. You notice the guards walking slowly along the battlements, their steps deliberate, unhurried, blending with the peaceful morning around them. You wander along the path toward the forest. The stream glistens in the new light, its waters flowing steadily. Birds begin their songs, soft, melodic, not rushed, a gentle chorus welcoming the day. The wind moves softly through the trees, carrying the scent of earth, grass, and the faint aroma of wildflowers. You pause to watch a few deer grazing in the meadow. They lift their heads occasionally, ears twitching, then continue their slow, deliberate feeding. Everything in this world seems to move with purpose, yet without urgency. You sit on the grass for a while, feeling the rhythm of the village, the forest, and the fields merge with your own heartbeat. The calm of medieval life lingers within you, a soft echo that soothes the mind and body alike. As the sun climbs higher, the village fully awakens. Villagers go about their tasks, the blacksmith hammers rhythmically, and children chase one another with gentle laughter. You walk slowly along the familiar paths, noticing every detail: the flicker of light across a roof, the curve of a tree branch, the shimmer of dew on grass.
The day unfolds at its own pace. You feel connected to every motion, every sound, every breath of life around you. There is no hurry, no pressure, only the quiet, steady passage of time. And as you breathe in this calm, you realize the journey through medieval England has changed something within you. You carry now a sense of patience, peace, and presence, a gentle reminder that the slow rhythm of life can be found anywhere, even beyond the past, even in your own world. You close your eyes briefly, letting the warmth of the sun, the soft sounds of the village, and the memory of the night's stars soothe your mind. Today, like every day here, begins slowly, peacefully, and you are fully part of its quiet, timeless rhythm. The journey home. The sun climbs steadily, illuminating the village and the surrounding fields. You walk slowly along the familiar path, taking in the details one last time. The cottages, the castle, the market stalls, and the winding roads all feel alive,
their gentle rhythm echoing in your chest. Villagers move about their daily routines. A woman carries water from the well, a child chases a stray chicken, and a blacksmith hammers quietly in the courtyard. Everything is calm, deliberate, unhurried, a world perfectly attuned to time itself.
You pause at the edge of the village. The fields stretch into the distance, dotted with grazing animals and the occasional traveler. The forest stands beyond, silent and timeless, its shadows long in the morning light. You breathe deeply, letting the sense of earth, grass, and smoke fill your senses. The pilgrim's road awaits you, leading out of the village and toward the horizon. You take your first step onto it slowly, feeling the earth beneath your feet and the quiet heartbeat of the medieval world accompanying each motion. Along the way, you meet a few travelers, nodding politely. A pilgrim carries a bundle over his shoulder. A merchant guides an oxen cart, and children wave softly as you pass. All movements are gentle, rhythmic, and calm. You follow the road past the stream, where the water glistens in the sun, past the grove of ancient trees, and past the hill where the stars once shone so brightly the night before. Every sight, every sound, every sensation carries the peace of a world untouched by hurry. At the edge of the forest, you pause one final time. The village lies behind you, bathed in morning light, its smoke curling lazily from chimneys. The castle tower stands strong, guardians of centuries past. Fields ripple gently in the breeze, and the distant hills glow faintly with the warmth of the sun. You close your eyes and breathe deeply. The calm of medieval England settles within you, a quiet rhythm that you can carry back to your own time. Step by step, you leave the road, the village, the castle, and the forest behind. Yet the memory lingers. The stillness of the night, the slow unfolding of days, the gentle heartbeat of people, nature, and life itself. As you return to your own world, you realize the journey has changed something within you. A sense of patience, peace, and quiet presence now accompany every breath, every step, every thought. You look back one last time, the medieval world glowing faintly in your mind's eye, and smile. The journey is complete. The world of the past fades, but its rhythm remains within you. And as you continue forward in your own time, you carry the calm, steady heartbeat of medieval England with you, a timeless companion for every moment of your life. The quiet river. After leaving the village and forest behind, you find yourself walking along the banks of a gentle river. The water flows slowly, smooth and reflective, catching the light of the rising sun. Its steady movement creates a soft rhythm, like a heartbeat in the quiet morning. The riverbanks are lined with reeds, tall grass, and wildflowers, all swaying slightly with the breeze. Birds skim over the water, their calls delicate and brief. Somewhere farther along, a heron stands silently, its long legs folded in still patience as it watches the ripples pass. You sit on a smooth stone near the water, dipping your hands into the cool current. The sensation is refreshing, grounding, and calming. The world feels expansive yet intimate. Every sound, the rush of water, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a bird, a reminder of the slow, steady pulse of life. Along the river, small wooden bridges arch gracefully over the water. You cross one carefully, feeling the old wood beneath your hands. The river flows beneath, carrying leaves, twigs, and tiny currents onward. You pause at the center, listening to the gentle rush, and notice how the sunlight flickers across the ripples, dancing like tiny golden stars in motion. Fishermen are scattered along the banks, quiet and patient. They cast their lines slowly, waiting for the fish to bite. Their calm demeanor, their steady rhythm, mirrors the flow of the river itself. You watch them for a while, feeling your own breath and heartbeat align with the tranquil scene. A gentle breeze carries the scent of damp earth and wildflowers, mixing with the faint aroma of smoke from a distant hearth. The river reflects the sky, the trees, and the soft clouds drifting above. Everything seems suspended in a delicate balance, alive yet perfectly still. You continue walking along the bank, noticing small details. A snail moving slowly over a stone, tiny fish darting just beneath the surface, the soft brush of grass against your fingertips. The river flows endlessly, patient and timeless. Its steady current carries you along, and you feel as if you could follow it forever, moving gently through the calm of the medieval landscape, lost in the rhythm of life that is slow, quiet, and unhurried. You pause again, lying back on the soft grass, watching the sunlight sparkle on the water. Everything is serene. Your thoughts slow, your body relaxes. Your mind drifts lightly, carried by the gentle flow of the river. The world feels vast, timeless, and intimate all at once. You inhale deeply, letting the calm fill every part of you. And as you close your eyes, the soft murmur of the water lulls you into a deep, peaceful rest, a perfect continuation of the medieval calm you've carried since your journey began. The meadow of wildflowers. The river bends gently, leading you toward a vast open meadow. Sunlight spills across the fields, illuminating a sea of wildflowers swaying in the breeze. Poppies, daisies, and bluebells ripple softly, their colors muted yet vibrant in the gentle morning light. You step into the meadow, feeling the grass brush against your ankles. The scent is sweet and earthy, a mixture of flowers, dew, and fresh soil. Butterflies drift lazily from blossom to blossom, and bees hum a steady, quiet rhythm as they gather nectar. Every sound is soft, deliberate, and soothing. The rustle of grass, the hum of insects, the distant call of a lark high above in the sky. Time seems to slow further here, each step and breath in perfect harmony with the natural world. You wander deeper into the meadow,
following a narrow path woven by animals and travelers over the years. The sunlight warms your skin, and the gentle sway of flowers invite you to pause and breathe. You notice the small details, the veins on a leaf, the tiny drop of dew sparkling like crystal, the subtle movement of a butterfly landing gracefully on a blossom. A small stream winds its way through the meadow, glimmering like a silver ribbon. You kneel to touch the water, its coolness a refreshing contrast to the warmth of the sun. The river hums quietly, carrying the melody of the meadow forward, its rhythm matching your heartbeat and your slow, steady breath.
Somewhere in the distance, a shepherd tends his flock. Sheep graze calmly, unhurried, moving with the natural rhythm of the land. The shepherd hums softly, a tune blending perfectly with the sounds of birds and water. You watch for a while, feeling a profound sense of peace, as if every element of this world, the flowers, the wind, the water, the animals, exists in quiet, perfect balance. You lie down in the grass, letting the meadow cradle you. The sun filters through the clouds, warm and gentle, and a light breeze caresses your face. Everything feels soft, safe, and timeless. The day drifts slowly forward. Clouds move lazily across the sky, casting shifting patterns of shadow and light on the meadow. A sense of serenity settles into your body, quieting every thought and tension. Here you are completely present, part of the world's gentle rhythm, yet apart from all urgency or worry. As you close your eyes, the colors, scents, and soft sounds of the meadow linger in your mind. The hum of bees, the rustle of grass, the trickle of the stream, all blend into a soothing lullaby. You breathe slowly, deeply, letting the calm wash over you completely. And as the meadow stretches endlessly around you, you drift into a serene, peaceful sleep, carried by the gentle, timeless rhythm of nature.
The Hidden Grove. At the far edge of the meadow, a narrow path leads into a grove of ancient trees. Their trunks are wide and gnarled, their branches twisting high into the sky, creating a natural cathedral of leaves and light. You step into the grove, and the world changes instantly. The air is cooler, shaded, and filled with the earthy scent of moss, bark, and fallen leaves. Sunlight filters through the canopy in soft, dappled patterns, casting a gentle golden glow on the forest floor. The grove is alive with quiet motion. A squirrel moves quickly along a branch, a small rabbit nibbles on tender grass, and birds sing softly, their melodies weaving together in a slow, calming rhythm. You walk along the winding path, noticing every detail. The texture of the bark beneath your fingers, the way a vine curves gracefully around a tree, the tiny mushrooms clustered in the shade. Everything feels deliberate, timeless, and perfectly balanced. The sounds of the grove are soft, but full of life. The rustle of leaves in the breeze, the distant trickle of a stream, the gentle tapping of a woodpecker in the distance. Each sound seems designed to slow your thoughts, to encourage deep, unhurried breathing. A small clearing appears.
Before we begin, Take a deep breath in and let it out. Let your shoulders drop. Let the world outside fade for a moment. Because tonight, we're not staying here. Not in the glow of screens or the hum of cars. Tonight, we're going somewhere older, much older. Somewhere where time itself moves slower. Where the night smells like wood smoke and rain, and where the only light comes from candles and the moon. Tonight, you're traveling to medieval England. It begins with a sound, a soft ticking, not of a clock, but of something older, a rhythm beneath everything, like the heartbeat of time itself. You open your eyes. The air feels different, colder, thicker. The light is dim, golden, like dawn caught in a jar. You're standing in a field. Mist curls above the grass. Somewhere far away, a bell is ringing, slow and heavy, calling villagers to wake. The year is 1325, the Middle Ages. You begin to walk. Your shoes sink slightly into damp soil. The path winds between small, thatched cottages, walls made of timber and mud, roofs heavy with moss. Smoke rises lazily from crooked chimneys. The air smells of firewood, wet hay, and bread baking. A rooster crows. Dogs bark in the distance. And for a moment, the world feels utterly still. No engines, no electricity, just the quiet rhythm of life as it once was, simple, slow, and impossibly real. A woman opens her cottage door. Her dress is made of coarse brown wool. Her hands are rough, strong from years of work. She glances at you briefly, curious but not alarmed. Travelers are rare, but not impossible. You nod politely, and she returns to kneading dough, the sound of her work mixing with the crackle of her hearth. Inside, the air glows orange with firelight. A pot of porridge simmers. Children stir under wool blankets, and outside, the mist begins to lift. You walk toward the village center. A church bell tolls again, slower this time, echoing across the valley. Its sound rolls like fog, touching every cottage and stable. The village green is quiet. A few chickens, a cow chewing cud, and a man sharpening a scythe beside a wooden fence. The rhythm of his work, scrape, pause, scrape, matches the calm beat of your heart. Time feels thicker here. The sun moves slower. Even your breath